Samsung finally brought back the wings, and they lowered the price of their latest earbuds. But, of course, they had to get rid of a few things to keep the price down. Are the Buds FE worth it? Well, stay tuned. And, of course, there were a few software updates since the Buds FE launched, so I'll show you the latest features. Samsung first introduced the wingtips with the Buds Plus in 2020. Remember those? Oh, how I love those. But alas, they only had IPX2 waterproofing, and well, I'm a bit of a germaphobe, and they could not stand up to my rigorous cleaning. Here are the Samsung Buds FE, and for me, the wingtips just make a super tight fit. Whereas my Buds Pro or even my Buds Pro 2, sometimes they just try to pop out after a little while. With the Buds FE, I almost have to pull them out when I'm done, and they are very comfortable to wear. Now, I don't claim to own every Buds that Samsung makes, but we could agree I own too many, and these are not even all my earbuds. These are just some Samsungs that have not died or got ruined along the way. So back to the Samsung Buds FE. Let's talk about the design on this. There's a nice big flat landing area for your fingers to activate the touch controls, and with this design, it's easy to adjust the buds in the ear without triggering any controls, which is great. But I really very rarely had to adjust them. They stay in place really well for me. They could be different for you, but I thought they fit very well. Do you want me to show you a picture of the buds in my ear? I didn't think so. So moving on. So let's talk about the design of the case here. So it's very glossy finish, obviously, and it's nice and smooth, no texture at all on it. It doesn't really attract fingerprints, which is nice, and it just looks kind of nice and clean. I didn't think I'd like it so much. Compared to the Buds Pro 2, just like this has like a matte finish there, not quite as nice, I think. I think the glossy finish kind of looks a little nicer, but that's just my preference. So super easy to pair these buds. So if you have a Samsung phone, all you do is just open the case and the phone will recognize it and you're all done basically. If you are connecting it to a non-Samsung device or a PC or something like that, all you do is put your two fingers on the top of the buds here. And then in a second, you see that green light, it's going to start flashing. And now you're in pairing mode when it starts flashing green and red. And then all you need to do is activate whatever device you're trying to pair it to and it will recognize these and you are all set. I didn't have any issues pairing this to my PC and to a phone and a tablet, no problems at all. So this is what you get in the box here. You get a basic instruction guide, a basic fit guide here. You get 2 extra ear tips, and then you get an extra wing set here. So the wingtip that comes on the Buds FE is kind of bold and sticks out a little bit. And if you don't like that, you can just replace it with this one, which doesn't have any wingtip at all really, but it does have a little texture on there, so it will grip in your ear a little better than nothing. Now, what colors does the Samsung FE come in? Well, ready for this? It comes in graphite and white, not the most exciting things. And both have a white case. So really trying to maybe save a couple of dollars here and just have the same color case. I'm not sure what Samsung was doing here. So let me talk about some of the features on the Buds FE. So it does have active noise cancellation, which works better than expected, actually. Maybe that's because they have a very tight fit, which gives very good passive noise cancellation, and that helps out active noise cancellation, obviously. It has 3 mics for noise cancellation. I think the active noise cancellation is actually as good as the Buds Pro 2 and probably a little bit better for blocking out background conversations than the Buds Pro 2, which is pretty amazing for, such an inexpensive bud here. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to hear any background noises. I found the Buds FE very good at canceling out surrounding conversations, but when I was outside biking, I definitely heard all the cars going by, and I really did not notice a big difference between having the active noise cancellation on or off when I was outside by the road. But the active noise cancellation is very good for constant low-grade, low-pitch rumbles, like an engine noise from a bus that you're commuting on or a train or things like that. It blocks that out very good. The Buds FE has a transparency mode, which helps you hear your voice when you're on phone calls or if you want to be aware of your surroundings, like when you're going jogging or riding a bike or something, you want to know what's going on around you so you don't get hit by a car or mugged or something like that. I think this sounds very artificial, and I feel like the surrounding noises are overly magnified, but I feel that way about all the earbuds that I have. Now, it seems that transparency mode only has an on and off, and active noise cancellation only has an on and off. This feature is a little hidden, but transparency mode actually has a couple of different levels on it. So if you get into the accessibility menu and hit customize ambient sound, you could actually adjust these quite a bit, and then you could put in different levels of the ambient sound that you might want to hear. So you can customize it to a tone that you like. Okay, so let's talk about battery life. Each bud has a battery size of 60 milliamp hours, and the case has 479 milliamp hours. So what does that translate to? Well, per Samsung, with active noise cancellation on, you get 6 hours of playtime, plus another 15 hours in the case, which gives you a total of 21. Now, if you turn off the active noise cancellation, you get 8.5 hours, so a little bit more, and you get 21.5 hours in the case for a total of 30 hours. And you could also listen to one bud while you're charging the other. And 5 minutes of charging will buy you an extra hour of playtime, and that's with active noise cancellation on. So the Buds FE seamlessly switch between any device connected to your Samsung account, but they also do a quick connect to any device that the Buds FE were already paired to, and I think that feature was added after the Buds were released. I think this is most useful if you are watching a movie on your tablet or TV or something, and then someone calls, the Buds will automatically switch to get input from the phone. You can have your conversation, and then when you're done and you hang up, the Buds will go back to what you were watching on your TV or tablet or whatever you were doing, which is nice. For all you Bixby fans, the Buds FE does have the wake up command for Bixby, and I did not find this option for Google Assistant. Let me know in the comments if you did. Bixby worked fairly well, and you could have it either activated by Bixby or Hello Bixby, and you could change that in the settings. But occasionally I felt like I was yelling, and I had to repeat my commands when I was listening to music. And that did make me look a little crazy when I was out and about, but that's okay. Anything for my YouTube viewers. I also found that anytime I asked Bixby to play music or an artist or an album or anything like that, it wanted to do it through the Spotify app. So I basically had to specify play so-and-so on YouTube Music, which is the app I typically use. So it was a little frustrating and a little extra effort that I probably shouldn't need to do. What about sound quality? I feel like the Buds FE sounded great. They had good separation, vocals and instruments sounded clear and sharp. There's a good full bass, and I think the bass was even a little bit better than the Buds Pro and the Buds Pro 2 when I really kind of sat down and compared them back and forth. But if you did pay attention and you went back and forth between the Buds FE and the Buds Pro 2, the Buds Pro 2 and the Buds Pro even did sound a little warmer, a little richer, but it wasn't really that much of a difference. If you had some premium buds and you compared them very closely back and forth, you might be able to tell a difference if you're sensitive to it. I think most people would be very happy with the sound from the Buds FE. There's definitely buds out there that sound better than the Buds FE, but the Buds FE are $100. Some of the better sounding buds are, 2, 3, 4 times more than the Buds FE, so that definitely has to be taken into consideration. There is an equalizer that comes with the Buds FE, but there's not too many customizations on it. All you get is a few preset equalizer settings here. There's no way to individually adjust the frequencies, which is definitely a disadvantage. Let me go through the basic features of the app. So you control the Buds FE through the Galaxy Wearable app, which is right here. Let me go ahead and click that. Now this is your noise controls here. Basically, you could have active noise cancellation on, ambient sound on, or neither, just normal sounding. And there is some levels of the ambient sound, which I'll show you where to find that in a minute. But the active noise cancellation are on no different levels of it. It's either on or off. Now let's get into the touch controls. If you click on here, these right here, the one tap to play and pause, the double tap to go to the next track, and the triple tap to go to the previous track, these are only able to be toggled on and off. There's no modifications of any of these things. The only thing you could really change is this right here, which is the touch and hold. So let's go ahead and click on that. So here's the customization here. You can have it volume down on the left side, and then on the right side, you can have a voice command activated. Now, again, you miss out on the voice up, so most people would probably have voice up on one side and voice down on the other, but you don't have to. As you see here, I have the switch noise controls on the left side over here, and down on the right side, I have the voice command. Now, I don't know why right is not on top. That just is bothering me, but that's just the way it is. So if you do the volume down on the left side and the volume up on the right side, now you lose any ability to switch on and off the active noise cancellation or the ambient sound. So that is kind of what you lose with the Buds FE. On the other buds, you were able to tap the side to activate more functions, and then you'd be able to do both of these things preset pretty easily instead of having to kind of switch back and forth on this. Hopefully you can live with that. And then, of course, you just got some call controls here, the double tap and the tap and hold here. Now, if we go into earbud settings, these are the options here. We got the equalizer, which I just showed you. You got these basic preset EQs there. Then the earbud fit test. This is actually pretty nice because I did this, and one was, obviously it says it's not an ear, but I had them both in, and the right side wasn't very good, and I just kind of moved it a little bit, and it said, yeah, we had a good fit, and actually I was able to tell the difference. As I had a better fit, it definitely blocked out the sound without anything on or any noise cancellation or anything. Just having the passive blocking of the noise from the outside made a big difference. Now we could have the notifications read aloud. If you click on that, there's some options here. So you can have it reading when you're using your phone, but you probably wouldn't need to, so that's why they give you the option to toggle that off. And then you could have your notifications read here. These are the apps and the notifications that are going to be read aloud. Now if you click on this, these are the ones that are not going to be read, all of them, basically all the other ones. So you can kind of adjust those as you need to. And then you could also see here, you get a little option if you click on it. You could do this, the summary or the full content. This is the Bixby wake up settings right here. So you could toggle the Bixby on and off, obviously, but then also here you could speak seamlessly. So you just do it once it's waking up, you can just go right into your command or your question or whatever you want to do. Then use an ambient sound during calls. You could have the ambient sound off for everything else, but then when you do get a phone call, they will automatically toggle it on. So in here, detection for calls. Let's just click on this here. So you probably want to have this turned on. Basically what it means is if you're taking phone calls and the buds are in your ear, then you're going to hear the person through your buds. but when you take it out of your ear, then it's going to go through your phone speaker, which is kind of what you want to do. If you turn this off, then when you take it out of your ear, it's still going to be playing, the person's still going to be talking through the buds as they're on the table, which is just weird. I don't even know why they give you an option for this, but that's what that is. So seamless earbud connection, if you just click on this, just tells you what it does. It will switch it basically automatically, and you can read about that. Again, if they're hooked up to your Samsung account, you don't need to do anything. It will just automatically switch back and forth. And then Labs, this just gives you the gaming mode. If you're playing a game, it will just reduce the latency a little bit. Now, in the accessibility, which is kind of like a hidden feature, because most people wouldn't think to check this out, I don't think. But if you click on this, this gives you some balancing that you can do, if you're a little hard hearing on one side. So the noise controls, if you're just listening to one bud, are just automatically toggled off. You could turn it on if you want to there. And then this is where you can customize the ambient sound. If you click on this, just gives you a little more customization, and you could basically how magnified you want the ambient noise to be down here. So the only other thing here is the earbud software update. So if you click on that, so you can control when this does update. So if you click on it, you could have it never update, which I don't recommend, or you could have it only on Wi-Fi. So if you have like a data sensitive plan or a limited of how many gigs you can download, you probably don't want it to be downloading all the time. You just want it to download when you're at home. It just kind of makes sense, even though these are not usually big files they download. But you could have it on Wi-Fi only or Wi-Fi and mobile if you don't really care. So I'm just going to go over one more thing here that maybe not everyone's aware of, but there is a widget for the Buds FE. To access it, all you need to do is touch and hold the screen. And then you're going to click on widgets. And then you're going to scroll down here until you find, it's actually under Galaxy Buds. Galaxy Buds FE right here. And then you just download that. And back to the widget here. With the case open, it's going to tell you the battery percentage of the case, and it will tell you the left and right earbuds here. Now, if they're very close, I believe if they're within 10% of each other, it just gives you one battery percentage. But if the left one is at like 30% and the right one's at 50%, it will list the battery remaining on each of them separately. Then if you click on here, this is the touch controls. You can toggle that on and off. If you just happen to be adjusting the earbuds and you keep hitting the touch controls, you could turn them off there. And the noise controls, you have to have the buds in. So let me just show you what that looks like. And so now I have the buds in. So your options are you could toggle it and you get into active noise cancellation. If you toggle it again, you get into ambient mode. And then if you toggle it again, it just turns both of them off. What I've set up to now has been mostly positive for the Buds FE, but there are definitely some cons. So let's get into them. The first one, the biggest one that most people should be aware of, is that it's only IPX2 rated. So the IPX2 rating is what doomed my Buds Plus. So you definitely have to be a little careful when you're cleaning these. So IPX2 means that these are only protected against vertically falling water drops up to 15-degree angle. This is the standard definition on this. And now for comparison, the Buds Pro 2 is IPX7, so much better water protection on that. The Buds FE is basically protected for light rain, sweat, but that's about it. You definitely can't go in the water. These definitely cannot be submerged, and they should not be put under running water to be cleaned or anything like that. Otherwise, you will definitely ruin them. So keep that in mind. Another big con is what I went through here is just some basic software features on there. There's not too much to customize. That's a little limited. Some of the higher end buds do have more features. So not a big one here, but another con is the gap between the case here. So this is the Buds FE on this side, and this is the Buds Pro 2, and this is just a very thin gap between them there, as you can see there, and you can see the bigger gap that's there. They didn't even bother trying to cover it up or disguise it or anything. This is the Buds Pro. Again, the gap is just much smaller, and it's much more obvious actually with that gray case there. Another con, which is kind of a big one probably for some people, so you can't have the volume controls and the active noise cancellation transparency toggle activated at the same time. There's no custom EQ. There's only a couple of presets that Samsung gives you, which definitely kind of stinks, and there's only one level of active noise cancellation. Now these will pair with an iPhone, but there is no Gear app, so there's really nothing you can control with it, so I definitely don't recommend using these with any kind of Apple product. And to get the most features, you need to pair this with a Samsung phone, because if you do pair it with an Android phone, you do lose a couple of things. What else did Samsung remove to make these things $99? Now, these are things missing, but they may not be that big of a con for you. First off is there is no wireless charging on the case, which, everyone kind of complains about this because it's the same form factor as every other case, so they probably could have put the wireless charging in there if they wanted to, but they were just kind of saving some money on this. And you do have the USB-C in the back, just like every other one, and you can charge this with your phone. You could just plug the USB-C into here, and then plug the other one, the other end into your phone, and you can charge it if you were traveling or something like that, so you can it around it a little bit, but that's probably one of the bigger features. Even though it's a little thing, I do like having the wireless charge in here so I could just throw it on my pad and charge it. It just makes it a little easier. There's no voice detection on this, and so those of you not familiar with this, what this would do is if you were going to speak with someone, then basically it would lower the volume of the music so you could hear what they were saying. Now, I had it on the Buds Pro and the Buds Pro 2, and I really didn't like this feature at all. First of all, why would I talk to other people? That's crazy. The second thing is every time I sighed or made a noise or started talking to the voices in my head, the music would dim out, and then I have to wait 10 seconds for it to come back on. And there was a lot of false positives on that, and that was definitely very frustrating. Another big con, I take that back. Another minor con for me is there's no 360 audio on here. You can let me know in the comments if that was a deal-breaking feature for you, but it's not on the Buds FE. You have to go with the premium bud to get that. There is also, again, I'm just going through all the features on here that you're missing out on, even though these are not big things for me, but there is no neck stretch reminder. So if you were looking down at your phone for a long time and the Buds Pro 2 would detect that you were, having your neck stretched down, and it would tell you to, start lifting your head and stretching out a little bit. That is not a big deal for me because I always turn off all those health reminders anyway. Another feature is here, you do have that big surface to tap on here, which is really nice, but there is no tap on the side like there are on some other buds. So you basically, just limits the amount of options you have with toggling things on and off with this. I'm going to go over my recommendations now, and this is the end of the video, so if you haven't done it yet, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate that. And if you're not ready for that kind of commitment yet, then maybe just like the video or share it with someone who might be interested. That really helps me out a lot, and YouTube likes to see that. So what do I think about the Buds FE? I think they give you most of the stuff you need. They sound great. They have better than expected active noise cancellation. They have a good battery life, not great, but good. And they have a great fit with the wings. For me, the wings may not make much of a difference for you, but I found that they fit much better than some of the other earbuds that I had. And they're a great value at only $99, I think. These are the cheapest buds that Samsung makes. Now, unless you're an audiophile or you have a lot of money or you really like all the extra features, it's probably not worth paying $200, $300, $400 for better buds. I think the Buds FE will serve most people very well. Now, sometimes there are some sales and trading deals from Samsung for the Buds Pro 2. Now, if you can get these for, say, $50 more than the Buds FE, then I would probably go for the Buds Pro 2. You do get some extra features, and they do sound probably a little bit better than most people would probably pick up on. And they do give you a wireless charging case, which, again, I like, even though it's a convenience factor. But also you do get the IPX7 water resistant, which is a big difference. Now, if you already have a pair of wireless earbuds that you like and the comfort's good, then sorry, I really can't recommend you buy these. Unless you're a YouTube reviewer or plan to become one, these would probably not do much for you. But sometimes Samsung discounts these so much, and they even offer a trade-in. In the past, they offered any wired headphones. Anything you had laying around, you could send in, and you get a trade-in credit for that. Then, again, sometimes they discount so much that you would be losing money if you didn't buy it. Now, I use this logic a lot, and that's why I have dozens of smartwatches and earbuds and other gadgets. But that's also why I became a YouTuber, so I could maybe pay for some of these things, and hopefully give you some information that might be helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have the Buds FE? Do you like them? Or if you decide not to buy them, let me know why. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.